Namaste YouTube, welcome to Enoma. We are going to give our reaction to Telegraph Road by Dire Straits. And this is a Patreon request. This is our first time single take honest reaction. Let's get started.
Yeah. Hope you enjoy this one.
Time ago, came a man on a track, walking 30 miles with a sack on his back, and he put down his load where he thought it was the best, made a home in the wilderness, built a cabin and a winter store, and he plowed up the ground by the cold lake shore. The other travelers came walking down the track, and they never went further, no, they never went back. Then came the churches, then came the schools, then came the lawyers, then came the roads, then came the trains and the trucks with their load, and the dirty old track. It was the Telegraph Road. Then came the mines, then came the ore, then there was hard times, then there was a war. Telegraph sang a song about the world outside. Telegraph Road got so deep and so wide, like a rolling river. traffic, 3 lanes moving slow. They shut it down. I got a right to go to work, but there's no work here to be found. Yes, and they say we're gonna have to pay what's owed. We're gonna have to reap from some seed that's been sowed. And the birds up on the wires and the telegraph poles, they can always fly away from this rain and this cold. You can hear them singing out the telegraph code all the way down the Telegraph Road. I'd sooner forget, but I remember those nights. Yeah, life was just a bet on a race between the lights. You had your head on my shoulder, you had your hand in my hair. Now you act a little cold, like you don't seem to care. But just believe in me, baby, and I'll take you away from out of this darkness and into the day. From these rivers of headlights, these rivers of rain, from the anger that lives on the streets with these names. 'Cause I run every red light on memory lane. I see desperation explode into flames, and I don't wanna see it again. From all of these signs saying sorry, but we're closed all the way. Down the Telegraph Road.
Great song.
And great end to the song with a long instrumental stretch.
Mm.
There was nice guitar riffs. I mean, the guitar riffs were like infinite. The tune that was made, it could go on and on and on. The tune was so good, it wouldn't end ever. There was no ending, it felt like.
One of the best sounds for me in music, any form of music, is when the piano and drums play a pivotal part in the composition. And this was one such song. Piano and drums. Wow, they really made the instrumental bit of the song really memorable, really beautiful. The lyrics are so intense, so relevant. You know, we have recessions at times in different countries. And I guess we are having a recession right now in many parts of the world. We don't realize it is there, but it is there. The ending of the song, the lyrics part of it, was where, you know, wherever he drove on the Telegraph Road, the signs of the shops were that it was closed.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a bad situation. People were out of work. They had no work to do.
Yeah.
Times were bad. It was a recession. It was down periods. And it seemed to be lasting for a long time. So it was a period of recession. It was a very tough period for the people living along the Telegraph Road.
Yeah.
And it was bad times.
They want to work, but
They
there
want
are
to
no
work,
jobs.
but there's nothing, and there's nothing available to. You know, it's tough when there's nothing available. Takes me back to the economic depression, the Great Economic Depression. You know, takes me back to that. I'll just go. You can continue with your analysis. I'll go. There's a person at the door. Continue.
I will start from the beginning of the song. It starts how one man, you know, with his 3 sacks, comes in a barren land in the winter, not in a barren land, but in the wilderness, and he starts living a settled life there. And how after that, slowly the development starts. The schools come, the hospitals come, all the lawyers and the transportation and the rules and regulations and customs and traditions start slowly. So I like the beginning of the song, how it starts with the beginning of how we started living a civilized life, how our society started from the beginning. And then, you know, coming down with all the things, how slowly when, you have this settled life, but in the settled life, there are unsettling things that start happening. Initially, when, you know, in the Stone Age times, we didn't have settled life. People were migrating, people were moving about, people were finding a settled place. But now we do have a settled place to live. We have these long roads that will go on and on and on. And everything is made, but lives are still unsettled. So this is kind of an irony that the song brought about for me. That even though we have made everything, there are some areas, some things that are failing everything altogether. That are failing us, that are failing our lives. And we don't know what exactly is the solution to it. We don't know how to work things. We don't know what would happen tomorrow, because as the song says that things were all ready and things were all working, the systems in place and everything started. But then people were started becoming jobless. They wanted to work, they wanted to do something, but then there were no jobs to work. In the song there is also a part when he's talking about his partner or something like that, and in the night, he was caressing her hair, his hands were just going through her hair and they were looking at the sky. Partner didn't seem to care, but he was making a kind of a promise that everything will get back normal and we will be having a happy, nice life together once again. But I don't think that happened during the song till the end. The Telegraph Road started dying down. The things along the Telegraph Road weren't as happy as they used to be before, like when the birds used to chirp and sing along. So I like the journey of mankind, how it started, how the civilization, the society formation started, and now what we are at.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome. These songs take you through so many thoughts, so many things that are happening, why things are happening, what is the start of it, what is the end of it. You don't know. There are so many questions which arise from these lyrics, but you don't know the answers to them. And I like the title of the song, Telegraph Road. I'm not sure if I've seen Telegraph.
Telegraph?
Yeah, Telegraph.
Telegram, you mean?
Telegraph, what is it?
Okay. Telegram, I know. It was very, very popular when I was young. It was, through coding, you could immediately send a short message to another part. Another part of the country, another part of the world.
Like fax.
Very, very, like fax, but in those days, I guess it wasn't there. So you had these telegrams in India. I'm not sure about if it's the same thing abroad, but we had these telegrams where if somebody died or somebody was sick, somebody was in the hospital, there was an accident, or any emergency message you had to send somebody, you could go to the post office or telegraph office. In those days it would be called a telegraph office. And you could go there and pay for each word. Each word you had to pay. And depending on the distance it had to be sent. So you had to pay, it was expensive, and so it was used generally in periods of emergency. But it had a pivotal role to play during the Industrial Revolution, during the wars, during early times, basically of the last century and till perhaps 1970, 1980. People would be using telegrams.
I remember my dad would mention at times, because he used to stay in Mumbai and the family was there in the hometown, and sometimes he had to be given some message urgently. So they would call it tar as in wire the message. So I wouldn't understand what do they do. I was very, very young. I was very, very young. So they would say, we'll wire the message. I would be backward as a child. Yeah. What are they doing with the wiring the message?
Okay, one thing I need to say before I forget, while I went and opened the door, collected the groceries we ordered, arrived late. But, one thing I want to mention, while I went, I got a, thought that I must talk about this. Whatever you do, if you just do it haphazardly, you start out a business, you start out a marriage, start it out haphazardly, you just do it because, you felt you needed to do it, or this is what I need to do. Like it started off, the guy was there, he went there, he built a log cabin and he started his life from there. Then after that, whoever came along the way, they too also stopped there. Instead of continuing ahead, they all stopped there and did the same thing. And that's how possibly things happen. The evolution happens. Things start. So if you just do it that way, there was no plan. You just said, okay, let's do this. And then you end up, at the end, it's all shattered. Because there was no plan to begin with. You just did whatever you felt like. When things were going good, you didn't realize it because you didn't have a plan. So how could you go back and see where were you right, where were you wrong, where were you doing well, where were you not doing well? It all starts with a plan. The plan is everything in business, in life, in so many aspects of life. Whether you talk about education or anything. Very often you see people who are extremely talented. Let's say a musician. There are plenty of musicians on YouTube, plenty of singers on YouTube. But only one Dire Straits, only one Pink Floyd, only one the Beatles, only one Elvis, only one Michael Jackson. Plenty and plenty of musicians and singers. But only these are remembered. Why? Because the others may have had incredible talent, but they had no plan. They had no sound planning to back it up. When we do our reactions also, we don't just do reactions. There is a plan that we will do this. We will do it this way. We will react to this. And this is how we go about doing it. At the end of the month, we usually succeed. And in fact, we surpass those expectations because we started with a plan, a modest plan. We didn't go about it in such a haphazard way that, okay, we are doing it well, we are doing this well, doing that well, just keep doing that. We still stick to the plan. We stick to that plan. That plan is the guiding light. And I guess that is the lesson I gathered from the song while I took a break to gather the groceries at the door. If that guy stuck to his plan, he would be here before we started this recording. But that is just not how life goes at times. Because very, very important quote. I've said it thousands of times, literally thousands of times, to clients, students, online, in articles, any place and any forum I share this if it's relevant, and it's very relevant over here. Dire Straits Telegraph Road reaction, a first-time single take honest reaction by 2 counselors, teachers, parents, life coaches and music lovers from India who love reacting to music. It's very, very important to mention this. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. You don't remember these 2 quotes when you're starting out on a relationship, a journey, a business, even a vacation. You don't plan it well.
Vacation
You're going
is
to
not
come
a vacation.
home with sunburn and a broken heart and an empty pocket
Lots of
and
regrets.
a lot of other things.
Lots of regrets.
Maybe a life-threatening illness too.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what happens. People go without planning on vacations. They just, go with the flow.
Let's go.
Let's not stop going with the flow. But even those that go with the flow have a plan to begin with. You can only go with the flow when you know where you're flowing.
Then
to.
your flow is taking towards your goal or
Towards your destination. Otherwise, you're against the tide.
Then you're
You're
going
against
inside.
the wall. Your back is against the wall, and it's beyond a point. All the shops will be shut, just like in the song. You are out there on the road. The shops are shut. There are no jobs to do, no work to do. You're just lazing around all day, perhaps watching TV. Hopefully, there was TV on Telegraph Road. You're just lazing around all day, doing nothing constructive and nothing fruitful in your life. And that should never happen, because if you have a plan, you will at least achieve something in your career, in your life, in your relationships. And for all those musicians, reactors, listeners, everyone else out there, as a counselor, a career counselor, a certified one at that, my opinion is, my advice to you is, during this reaction, always plan. Go with the flow, but make sure you have a plan. To our patrons, I will share a priceless audiobook on Patreon tonight. It's going to be the Join the Dots system or the Magical Seeds principle. Both of them are very important about planning your way in life, so that even if there's a recession, when the recession was there in the world, 10 years, 12 years ago, there was a very big recession.
Yeah,
When
2008, yeah.
when President Obama of the United States just came into power, the big recession was going on. So during that period, there were few countries which were not that affected by
Not
the
very,
recession.
yeah.
And one of those major countries was India. Why were we not affected? Because we have something in our system which is really good. And that thing is, we teach our children and we teach people to plan and to follow through with
And
their plan.
also we have a very strong system of saving. Even a housewife who doesn't earn much, doesn't go out and work, she likes to save. She likes to save some money for something. They just have that satisfaction and happiness of saving some amount, and that saving does save them on the rainy day when things happen against you and when things are going wrong. They get that help. So people like to save here at least some amount so that they can use it when systems just change or things are just going wrong on the outside. I'm glad that you went and collected the groceries, because while you thought of that, planning is so important, I was talking about why things went wrong.
I'll watch it during the reaction.
That did answer my questions, because I had a lot of questions.
Okay, let's end this reaction. It's a 20-minute reaction. It's a Patreon request. Thank you for your time. Hope you enjoyed the value we brought to the table. It's our own interpretation of the song, our own analysis. Gives you food for thought. Since we are 2 counselors, teachers, parents and music lovers from India, it does give a totally different view, I guess, from many other reactors, reviewers, assessors out there. So thank you for your time and watching and support. Goodbye.